The link to all the assets in this tutorial is in the description of this video right here, so you could check it out. Hello students, so today we're going to learn all about Gimp. Now keep in mind that you guys are beginners and you will not know everything, but it's all about practice, practice and practicing. So the first thing that we are going to do is to download Gimp. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going to open my web browser here, and it's www.gimp.org. All right, and here you'll be greeted with this window, and see this red spot here. We have download version 2.10.38, right? Yes, so we just download this, click on this, and you will get one for Windows. Okay, so you choose which one that you're gonna get yours from. I'll download from Gimp directly. All right, and if you notice it's starting to download, let me pause. Voila, our download is done. So let us open that file. Okay, and we're seeing that we have select the install mode. Okay, so you install for all users, click on that, and this installer here will pop up. Okay, it will ask you what language you want to choose. It's already on English, so you just hit on OK. All right, and here you have your Gimp setup. Hit on install, and then you will see the progress. So after a few minutes, it has been complete, and we get this window right here, completing the Gimp wizard, setup wizard. Okay, you just hit on finish. All right. Now you'll also notice that this window might pop up in your browser. So they are just thanking you for your support, because Gimp is absolutely free. If you want to, you can support them by donating as well, because software development is cost. I mean, there's a cost attached. All right, so the donations will help. All right, so let's go down to Gimp. So I'm going to close my browser for now. All right, and we have this Gimp icon which will appear on your desktop. So let's double click on Gimp. Okay, so after the software loads, depending on the speed of your machine, it may take a while if you have a very slow machine. All right, you will be greeted with this screen here. All right, so let me just drag off my camera right there. Okay, so right now the screen is gray, but let's go through what you've seen on the screen. So in this area here is called your toolbars. All right, so here you have the move tool. All right, here you have the rectangle select, here you have the free select tool, but we are going to go into this. All right, so if you notice, when you hover your mouse over the selected tool, all right, you'll also find, all right, that there is an explanation as to what the tool does, which can be very helpful. All right, so in this area here, all right, we have the different the parameters and so on. All right, the hardness and so on of your the hardness, of your brushes and so on, but we are going to go into that. These are all your different brushes. All right, and if you notice that based on the tool that you choose, okay, you see different options appearing. All right, Gimp is very robust and there are a lot of tools in there. Also, you need to remember that there are several ways to do one thing in Gimp. Yes, so let's jump in and try to put together a little composition here. By doing so, you will learn how to use the different tools. So let's go. All right, so I have a folder with, let me just close Gimp for now. I have a folder with different assets that we can use here. All right, I have, let me delete this file here, it shouldn't be there. Nah, let's leave it there. All right, so I have three backgrounds here. I have some pics of my characters, Coco Boy and Girard, and a little cartoon character representing me. We're gonna do a composition right now. So we're gonna use one background, Coco Boy, Girard, and we're gonna use myself. All right, so let's get to it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is to drag one of our backgrounds here. I like this one, so I'm just gonna drag it onto our gray area right here and click and drag and just drop right here. If you notice, let me drag my picture over there. All right, if you notice, we have our background right there. Okay, now let's go back to our folder. We're just going to drop all our files one time here. All right, so let me see if I can put that background 2 here as well. And we're going to drop in our Coco Boy character. Very big. Ah, my goodness, this Coco Boy character is very big. And then we're going to drop in our Girard character. And we're going to drop in the character, the Ted character. Okay. It will ask you to convert. Sometimes it does ask you to convert. All right. But I always hit convert. All right. So drag my picture here. So as you can see, this is like stacks. Pictures that are stuck together. You know, when you pile up some pictures or folders on your desk, right, on paper, this is how it is. So if you have to look at this section here, let me drag a little more. Okay, on the workspace, if you notice on the handle here, you can drag it to suit your preference if you want to. So now this area here, these are all layers. So we'll see that our background layer, the first one that we dropped here, okay, the file, the canvas, right, is that particular size. All right, and we find that the others that we dropped after and will show up on your screen, and the last one that we dropped here is the picture of me here, would be the layer on top as it shows here. Now if you notice, there are eye icons here. The eye. Now this is for you to view the layer. So if you were to click on this, our layer disappeared, and this and this. So now we have 2 layers left, and last layer, and our background, and then we just see some checkered lines. Okay, these checkered lines would represent nothing. It just shows how big your canvas is right there. Okay, but if you want to show our layers again, we can simply just hit on where under the eye here. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you want to view a particular layer, all you need to do, okay, you want to see the one of mine, it is fine. All right, and if you want to reposition your layers, all you need to do is just click and drag. So if I want mine to be under Coco Boy and Girard here, click and drag. And if you notice, you'll see this white line, which will tell you where the layer is positioned. Okay, so I will go under Coco Boy, boom. All right, so all these other characters are in front of me. All right, so now I will put our Girard character towards the back, right? Because we need to focus on our Coco Boy character right now. Okay, so what we're seeing is that Coco Boy is very large on the scene here. All right, let's click our Coco Boy layer right here. If you notice that the layer that you selected, it will be darker than the other layers. Make sure you are on the correct layer. So since Coco Boy is so large, we want to resize him, rescale him. So if you notice, when we go onto our tools right here and we hover over it, we'll also see that there is a pop-up window which opens, and it has also in group. All right, so there are different tools in that group as well. So all we need to do is right click on it. All right, and then you hit the scale tool right here. Awesome. So it switches to the scale tool. So make sure that you have the correct layer, all right, selected, and you will be able to move things around. So I'm going to take my scale tool right now and let us scale Cocoa Boy right down. Okay, so I'll be moving between the scale tool and the move tool right here. So with I'm using the scale tool, I'm going to go into the move tool in this corner here and bring him up a bit because I'm not seeing him. Okay, it's back on the scale tool. Sorry about that. I'm going to go to the move tool, okay, and gonna move him up. All right, and then we're going to scale him again because this picture is very large. Very large. Okay, I'm going to move him again. It's just a back and forth between the scale tool and the move tool. Let's just scale him a little lower. Right. Okay. Okay, so I will just move him up. And here we have Cocoa Boy. Now, let us scale me now, the layer with me. So let's, for temporarily, just hide Cocoa Boy for now. All right, and let us scale me. So I'm going to use the scale tool and I'm going to bring me down around here and move the move tool to go up. I'm going to stay around here. All right, now if you notice, in the corners right here, I tend to disappear, which is cool. All right, but keep in mind that the whole image is still there. It's not going to be cropped. All right. Okay, so we have me, and then we have Gerard in the background. But with Gerard is a little more complex. So we're going to get into that. So let us click on the Cocoa Boy right here. So we have me, Cocoa Boy, and we have Gerard in the background. All right, now if you notice, we have two backgrounds. I did this on purpose so that you guys can actually see. All right, so you can actually see the different sizes of the background layers here, just for you to see that it's like a stack. So I don't really want this background on top here, so I can simply just delete this layer. So right click and delete. Or another way to do this, just go on the layer and hit delete. All right. Okay, so let us look at how our elements here will look. All right, but something is off right here. Yes, on Gerard we have this white background. We don't want that. This is because, let me show you. This is because the Gerard file that we use here is actually a JPEG. It's a JPEG image where there is no transparency in the background. Whereas with the Cocoa Boy that we use here, this is a PNG file which would have no kind of background. So all you get is the subject of the image itself. So with Gerard, we're seeing the white as a background. But let's just say we use the one with me and Cocoa Boy. You won't get any white. All you get is the exact image and no white background. All right. So when you do dealing with things like this, always look for a PNG file so that it can work like this. But I purposely put Gerard as a PNG, a JPEG, sorry, because we need to get rid of that white background. So let's get to it. So for this, we are going to use the free select tool. Okay. Make sure that we are on the correct background. Right now I'm on the background. We need to be on Gerard. Okay. So let's do this. By using our free select tool, make sure you click on that. All right. We are going to click around Gerard. In fact, before we do that, I noticed that Gerard is going over all right, our frame here. And I can see that because we are seeing these yellow broken lines around Gerard. So I need to resize him. So let me just scale him down a bit. Yeah. And I'm going to move him up. Excellent. So we've seen all of Gerard right here. So let's go back to our free select tool. And then we are going to select around Gerard. Okay. This is very, very tedious. Very, very tedious to do. Okay, we're just selecting around him. Click. And you will notice that there would be some handles that will come up. Okay. So we're going to click around him to get rid of that white background. Because we only want Gerard. Now this can be one of the most tedious tasks, and this is a very easy subject to go around. All right, he's a cartoon, but what if you are to choose a human? Okay, so on the last one where we started, okay, your selection will close right there. All right. So as you can see, as we've selected our character here, I call these little dotted lines, these moving dotted lines, matching ants because they resemble matching ants, right? To get rid of that background, okay, what we need to do, okay, is to go on to our select right here and we invert. So when you do that, all you need to do is hit delete. I didn't hit on invert. Select, invert, okay, and then we hit delete. We just deleted the background that we selected. All right, excellent. So what do we do now? All right, we're not selecting anymore, so let's just hit the move tool and then let's shift Gerard around. So we can actually choose, we can actually show our other characters here. All right, so Gerard, we want him to be in the foreground because he's very large here. All right, so Gerard will be in the front. All right, move him right here. And then we have Coco Boy. We could have Coco Boy on this side here. And then we can have me on this side. Okay. Yeah, so we could just start to resize all of them. So okay, so I want to leave some space for some text in here, so I need to resize these guys. Okay, let's just scale Gerard down a little here, and let's scale Coco Boy. Did I commit Gerard to that? No, I didn't commit. Enter. Okay, and let's go back to Gerard. I'm going to scale him down. All right, and then we're going to go on me, scale me down. Okay, and let's just move the characters around. Coco Boy, Gerard, Ted. Okay, leaving us adequate room for some text on the top. All right, so I want to put on the top friends forever. All right, friends forever. So let's get to it. So another useful tool that we can use, in fact, for graphic design, it is a tool that we will use a lot, is the text tool. So when you hit on this little icon here in your toolbar, just hit on that and this would be your text tool. So all you need to do is to click and drag where you want your text to be and release. If you notice, we have a text box which is opened, and we can actually click in it and we can type into our text box here. All right, I have the F, and let's just put friends. I'll put it in caps. Friends forever. All right, in fact, I will put the 4 as 1. All right, so we have friends forever here. So we can highlight our text. Once you highlight your text, click and drag over your text. We have some, they're surrounded by squares. Each letter in your text will have your border, right? Okay, so with all of them selected, we can actually change the size. Oh, very large here. Right, and we could get them smaller, very small here. All right, or we can simply just put in the, right now it's on 112. We can simply put in, I'm going to put 160. All right, which is pretty good. We can also change our fonts. All right, right now here we have our font being sans serif. And if I need to change my font, all I need to do is go into this and probably type I'm going to choose, I typed in the letter A, right? Because I know the different fonts on my computer. So I type in letter A to get my Anime Ace bold font, right? And if you notice, my Anime Ace font is pretty large. All right. So I'm going to reduce that to 120. Very good. Anime Ace bold. Since our text is still highlighted, let's try to change the color of our text. So if you notice here in this section here, we have a black square. Hit on that, and this would open your change color of selected text. All right. So we want our text to be, let me see, white. Is white okay? And then hit okay. And right away, your text will be white. Yeah. Now, I prefer it black because you'd find that the black would be more legible here. We can read the black better. Okay. All right. Okay, students. So, our friends forever is not, it doesn't stand out. Now, remember our principle of contrast. In the principles of design, we need to have that so that the friends forever can be legible. So how do we make this stand out? So what I'm going to do, I am going to put a white outline around the friends forever. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I am going to right click on our friends forever layer that was made. Every time we type text in here, make a text layer or a text box, it creates a layer with the text. All right, so let's right click on that, and then we're going to click on alpha to selection. See that? So as you can see now, all the text is selected. All right, so what we're gonna do now is to go on to select, and then we're going to go on grow right here. Okay, and then I'm going to make it grow by, let me see, way too much. Bring that right down. Make it grow to about 31. 31 is okay. Yeah. All right. So we have a little outline around here, about 31. We can make it less, but I want that text to stand out. Okay. And if you notice, students, that around, we're seeing our matching ants around the letters here. Okay, so let us create a new layer. Now to create a new layer, like a blank layer with nothing on there, just by where you have this folder here, okay, the first icon that you see here is create a new layer, and this appears. Okay, so you could change the name of your the layer as well. Once this text box open here, no, the text box, sorry, this new layer opens here. All right, the layer name is Ted. All right, so what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna call it outline. right here, and make sure that it is transparent. Yeah, the background on there is transparent, and then we're going to hit on OK. So we have our outline layer just being created here. So your outline layer needs to be at the bottom of our Friends Forever layer. It has to be there. Okay, so what we're going to do now, with our layer, our outline layer selected, we are going to choose whatever color that we want to put that layer in. So this here, this box here, with two squares, a black and a white, would represent, all right, our color picker. So when we click on this black here, would represent the foreground color. When we click on the white, it will represent the background color. But we're going to be dealing with the foreground color for now. All right. So how do we add color in our outline layer? Notice that the matching ants have already selected, right, the outline of our Friends Forever here, right? So make sure we are on our outline layer. So we click on this little tool right here. This is called your paint bucket tool. The paint bucket tool is used to, let me show you. If I were to open a new layer here, all right, just outline one, it just took the last name that I had and it just went to fit. So this one will be outline number 1. So with outline number 1, all right, I would just probably click, the alpha is still on, so I'm just going to click on here, and wow, it's black. You're not seeing anything. Yeah, because the color here, all right, the foreground color is black. Okay, so let me undo all that. Go back to our outline layer here, and we are going to select a lighter color, because for a dark color to stand out, you need to get a lighter color. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose like a very light blue. All right, I'm going to hit on OK. And I'm going to use my paint bucket, go into the area where our Friends Forever is highlighted, and then we just click on that. So our Friends Forever will be seen. All right. I'm going to make it a little lighter. Okay. And I'm going to click again, and it is lighter. If you notice, they were in different sections there, so I have to click them one by one. All right. So here we have our Friends Forever being highlighted. Now to get rid of this, our matching ants here, right? Because if we try to go and do anything, it will just be in that these matching ants. So where we have to go is go and select, and we hit on none, and it will deselect everything for you. All right, just keep that in mind in case you're trying to do something and you see that nothing is happening. That may be the problem. All right, so you need to deselect after you have selected all this. All right, so right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. All right, now we are proud of our work. So how do we save the work? Let's get to it. So if we were to save, we want to file, and we hit save, this save image window will appear. All right, now I'm going to save it in our file that we just created here for this tutorial, which is called Gimp tutorial. All right, and I am going to hit save. Okay, so I'm going to go into my Gimp folder right here, and if we notice that we have a file named background1. Now what happened here is that the file automatically is called background1 because that's the name of the first layer that we put in here. But let's just say we want our file to be Friends Forever. You could probably change it here, but when you instead, let's go on to save as, because if you hit save, it will just save over the background one. If we're going to save as, all right, there's a name background 1. I'll call it friends forever. All right, and then we save. Let's go back into our folder. So we will see that there is a friends forever file right here. But this is not an image file. If you notice, let's go on to save as again. If you notice, this is an XCF file. This is a file that Gimp will create so that a project can be opened. So when you double click on that file, Gimp will open. You won't be able to put that on a website and so on and expect to see a picture. You won't expect to try to transfer it on your phone and expect for the person to see the picture. The only way they can see that picture is if they have Gimp. We want to export it as a JPEG or a PNG or whatever picture format. So let me X out of that. So how do we do this? Let us save our picture. So we're going to go into File and we're going to go to Save As. No, we're not going to go into Save As. We are going to go into Export As. Sorry. And when you hit on Export As, you're seeing, all right, that we have our friends forever, yes, as a file name, but yeah, it's not the GIMP file anymore. It is a PNG, and that's the file we probably want. You understand? Okay, so we have chosen our file, so let us save, export, boom. All right, you will get this export image as PNG up here. Okay, so everything is checked okay, and then we hit export here. You will see this progress bar very quickly because our file is very small. And then let's go back into our, voila, we have our friends forever picture right here. Oh, it opened on the next monitor, so let me just drop it right here. And here we have our friends forever. Put my face right there. All right, yes, looks very good. Friends forever. You can, I don't know if you're good doing it along with me or if you want to try it on your own, right? So you can do so. The link to all the assets in this tutorial is in the description of this video right here. So you could check it out. Guys, I will see you in the next class.